But here we go.
There you go.
It's going to
Yeah.
start here shortly. So thank you, everybody, for your
This is
patience.
devil.
Greg, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Secret last night?
There we go.
Yeah, I did.
You
Yeah,
did.
so did we.
Yeah. My Facebook Live was about it today.
Oh,
So
I
that's-
didn't see that. I've
Yeah,
been so
Corky, that
busy.
it just shows me that you're not paying attention.
Oh, get out of here.
That's funny.
Ooh.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Secret last night?
There we go.
Like, it's like what social media network are you following him on? You got to follow him on all. We put it all on. The crumbs are everywhere, you guys. No.
Hey, I'm trying to get people to do one video, and now I'm doing like 3 different videos on 3 different
I am.
social medias a day. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. You know, it's what's so interesting is a lot of this is technical, and we got to work through it. Things change, they get updated, and so we appreciate your patience as we appreciate your patience as we nail this. And we will have it. It is now broadcasting on YouTube. So thank you so much for everybody for joining us. So today, day 2. OMG. Wasn't yesterday fantastic? Everybody raise your hands if you thought that yesterday was a great start to this amazing Mastering the Science of Getting Rich with Robert Hollis. It is even going to be more amazing today, because today we are going to go into chapter 2 of the Science of Getting Rich. And the chapter 2 is there is a science of getting rich. So yesterday we talked about you have the right to be rich. Well, today there is a science of getting rich. And we're going to prove that the certain way is not so difficult and that you can follow it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Robert Hollis.
Well, thank you, Craig. And again, thanks everyone for having your patience. I've gotten a lot out of, the people that are sending me messages, thanking you for reminding me. Thank you for getting me back. I talked about on my Facebook Live today the person that inspired me to write this book. Quick story. So I'm the kind of guy that if you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing in life, I usually can push you sometimes. For those of you that have been on these lately, you've watched me be the best friend I could possibly be to Bill Shoemaker. It's changed him, but people that have known me, like my son and Melody, and also Lisa Marie, they've seen me on videos where I start doing things called breakthroughs that Craig's always been there. And I'm going to call you on your BS. I'm going to call you on it. And what's unique about that is I get to call myself on that. So I met this guy named Max Miller, and his whole life, he's 66 today. And he kept trying to do network marketing, and he followed me like a puppy, and he was going to learn this. And the guy just could never, ever seem to get going with it. And so I said to him, so well, why are you doing this? And he goes, to make money. And I'm going, listen, that's not good enough. I go, well, if you could do anything, the classic thing you guys hear, if you woke up, found out you had millions of dollars in the bank, you were debt free, and let's make it a large amount, 50 million in the bank. And so now what do you do with the rest of your life? You see what I mean? It's like you got time, you have freedom, you got money. What are you going to do? Who are you going to do it with? What exactly are you going to do with your life? And Max said, I want to be an author. I said, share your idea with me. And he says, I worked for the airlines my whole life. and I got free buddy passes to go anywhere in the world I want to. So my goal was to be able to write a book about how I could travel the world for like $500. And he said, that's my concept. And I called him on it, and I told him that if he wasn't going to do it, he's probably never going to do it. And that was probably, easily 30 years ago. And so he decided to do this. So he started getting buddy passes. As soon as he would land at any airport, he would immediately walk up to the ticket agents and say, hey, I work for Delta in Washington, D.C. And immediately, because they had something in common, they would start talking. And he says, yeah. And people go, no, you're not staying at a hotel. You can stay with us. We'll feed you. We'll take you to all the local locations. And he started doing that to sort of get his book together. Well, he ended up in Peru and went to, the place, I think, I forget what it's called, Machu Picchu or whatever. And he's up there and waiting to get up and sees all the, I don't remember if it was sheep or goats or whatever. And so he's in a very mystical place, and he's pulling all this stuff together. And he gives me a call. So he's sitting on this mountain, and he's finally got it. And he calls me up and he goes, Robert, I got it. I got the download. I know exactly what's going to make me an author. And I foresee millions of people reading this book. And I said, really? I said, what is it? And he goes, I'm writing your book. I went, what? And he goes, Robert, people need to know about your inspiration and how you went from what you went to where you are today. He says, I'm writing your book. And he did, and the rest is history. So the book went online and published on 12/12/12. Is that crazy? Maybe not, but it went 12/12/12. When it launched on Amazon, it was #1 in 3 categories. And I made a huge mistake because I shouldn't have listed it in those categories. If I would have just listed it in some kind of general aspect, the book would have went to a top 50 book. Isn't that crazy? So I say all that to share with you that the principles that we're talking about will work for you in crazy ways. So for those of you that don't know this about me, I'm dyslexic. Hard for me to read. Virtually impossible for me to spell anything over 5 letters. And I'm an author of a book. So the thing I love most about The Secret and the Science of Getting Rich is it's not your goal to figure out how it's freaking going to happen. Which, isn't that crazy? That's the opposite of what we were taught. Author, you want to start a company? Great, let's put together a business plan. Let's what's your target market? What's your avatar? When in reality, I inspired somebody else and became a best-selling author. Then he became very successful ghostwriter. He supported himself by walking up to people and go, you got a book in you. And they go, I don't know how to write a book. And he goes, I'll just interview you. Well, how does that work? Well, why don't you go on Amazon and look at how is that working? So I got inspired by a guy named Robert Hollis, and now we've given away millions of books all over the world in different languages. So if I can do it for him, I can do it for you. So there you go. Little quick thing. So let's get started here. All right, chapter 2. There is a science to getting rich.
Chapter 2. There is a science of getting rich. There is a science of getting rich, and it is an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws which govern the process of acquiring riches. Once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man, he will get rich with mathematical certainty. The ownership of money and property comes as a result of doing things in a certain way. Those who do things in this certain way, whether on purpose or accidentally, get rich, while those who do not do things in this certain way, no matter how hard they work or how able they are, remain poor. It is a natural law that like causes always produce like effects, and therefore any man or woman who learns to do things in this certain way will infallibly get rich. That the above statement is true is shown by the following facts. Getting rich is not a matter of environment, for if it were, all the people in certain neighborhoods would become wealthy. The people of one city would all be rich, while those of other towns would all be poor. Or the inhabitants of one state would roll in wealth, while those of an adjoining state would be in poverty. But everywhere, we see rich and poor living side by side in the same environment and often engaged in the same vocations. When two men are in the same locality and in the same business, and one gets rich while the other remains poor, it shows that getting rich is not primarily a matter of environment. Some environments may be more favorable than others, but when two men in the same business are in the same neighborhood and one gets rich while the other fails, it indicates that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. And further, the ability to do things in this certain way is not due solely to the possession of talent, for many people who have great talent remain poor, while others who have very little talent get rich. Studying the people who have got rich, we find that they are an average lot in all respects, having no greater talents and abilities than other men. It is evident that they do not get rich because they possess talents and abilities that other men have not, but because they happen to do things in a certain way. Getting rich is not the result of saving or thrift. Many very penurious people are poor, while free spenders often get rich. Nor is getting rich due to doing things which others fail to do. For two men in the same business often do almost exactly the same things, and one gets rich while the other remains poor or becomes bankrupt. From all these things, we must come to the conclusion that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. If getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way, and if like causes always produce like effects, then any man or woman who can do things in that way can become rich, and the whole matter is brought within the domain of exact science. The question arises here whether this certain way may not be so difficult that only a few may follow it. This cannot be true, as we have seen, so far as natural ability is concerned. Talented people get rich, and blockheads get rich. Intellectually brilliant people get rich, and very stupid people get rich. Physically strong people get rich, and weak and sickly people get rich. Some degree of ability to think and understand is, of course, essential. But insofar as natural ability is concerned, any man or woman who has sense enough to read and understand these words can certainly get rich. Also, we have seen that it is not a matter of environment. Location counts for something. One would not go to the heart of the Sahara and expect to do successful business. Getting rich involves the necessity of dealing with men and of being where there are people to deal with. And if these people are inclined to deal in the way you want to deal, so much the better. But that is about as far as environment goes. If anybody else in your town can get rich, so can you. And if anybody else in your state can get rich, so can you. Again, it is not a matter of choosing some particular business or profession. People get rich in every business and in every profession, while their next-door neighbors in the same vocation remain in poverty. It is true that you will do best in a business which you like, and which is congenial to you. And if you have certain talents which are well developed, you will do best in a business which calls for the exercise of those talents. Also, you will do best in a business which is suited to your locality. An ice cream parlor would do better in a warm climate than in Greenland. and a salmon fishery will succeed better in the Northwest than in Florida, where there are no salmon. But aside from these general limitations, getting rich is not dependent upon your engaging in some particular business, but upon your learning to do things in a certain way. If you are now in business and anybody else in your locality is getting rich in the same business while you are not getting rich, it is because you are not doing things in the same way that the other person is doing them. No one is prevented from getting rich by lack of capital. True, as you get capital, the increase becomes more easy and rapid. But one who has capital is already rich and does not need to consider how to become so. No matter how poor you may be, if you begin to do things in the certain way, you will begin to get rich, and you will begin to have capital. The getting of capital is a part of the process of getting rich. It is a part of the result which invariably follows the doing of things in the certain way. You may be the poorest man on the continent and be deeply in debt. You may have neither friends, influence, nor resources, but if you begin to do things in this way, you must infallibly begin to get rich, for like causes must produce like effects. If you have no capital, you can get capital. If you are in the wrong business, you can get into the right business. If you are in the wrong location, you can go to the right location, and you can do so by beginning in your present business and in your present location to do things in the certain way which causes success. Chapter 3. Is opportunity monopolized?
Pretty good chapter, wouldn't you agree? All right. My quick thoughts on this chapter was, again, the thing I love most about this book is it took away my excuses. Wow. Just like Fahad said immediately. It was like we have all this junk in our minds that I'm not smart enough, I'm not good looking enough, my voice is stupid, I got a crazy stupid laugh, you know what I mean? I'm introverted, whatever stupid thing we put out there. And what I love about this book written in 1910, there's other things that this is going to say in other chapters where right away, again, we understand that we're talking about persons instead of men, right? But the other thing is, I don't think that he foreseen the internet in this chapter. It's like, so he's talking about, hey, you might be in an environment like the Sahara Desert. And I'm going, does it have Wi-Fi? It's like, my God, I've run into a lot of people in a lot of poor areas. And I always tell them all the time, because of the thoughts of this book, doing things in a certain way, do you guys realize that you could just drop me off in the middle of nowhere with no money, no cell phone, no contacts? What would be the very first thing that you would do to regain success? Me, I'd immediately walk through the whole entire city asking where the food banks were, where the homeless were fed. And I would go there and volunteer. And it wouldn't take long for me to find out the people that were financially making sure that the people that didn't have had. Are you guys hearing me? So this is a person that doesn't have to work on a giving heart. They already have a given heart. Finding those that have ears to hear. And my goal would be to go the extra mile in voluntary service for this food bank to get that individual's attention. And when I got their attention, I'd be asking if it would be okay if they lent me. I'd like to work for them for free. And the how I would get rewarded is by having time around an electronic device that was hooked to Wi-Fi. Once I got those things connected, because I understand affiliate marketing, because I understand marketing, it would not take long for me to find out what was hot, how to connect with it, how to share it and improve other people's lives, apply the principle of this book, and I've done it already. Have you guys heard that, when a person really figures out the certain way, they just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. So there are some people that are good athletes, but they're good athletes in virtually everything they do. There's some people that are good singers, and then once they figure out the certain way, they can sing any genre. In fact, they do that to challenge themselves. You see what I mean? It's like, I'm bored with pop. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to country. I'm bored with country. I'm going to do jazz. So even Garth Brooks had that alter ego. I don't remember his name, Chris somebody. But you guys remember when Garth Brooks was like, hey, I'm going to try a different genre. And it's like, no, you're not. It wasn't that he wasn't a good singer or had good songs, it's his audience wouldn't accept him. It's like, listen, no, go back to that other guy, right? And so how about actors? Craig's an actor, incredible actor. So why is it that actors go, okay, I'm done with sitcom, I'm going to do Broadway. Or I'm tired of comedy, I need to do drama. Are you guys realizing that when you know the certain way, like Richard Branson, it's like, listen, I can do a record label, I can do a magazine. Let me see, what else could I do? I'll do an airline. I'll do some mobile phone service. I'll do a cruise ship. Because Richard Branson's philosophy is I always can make things better for the people that are willing to pay more. Did you guys know that was his slogan? It's like, listen, a nice plane ride from New York to Paris, the other airlines do a pretty good job. I'm going to make it better. And I'm going to charge more. That's when you know you got the certain way. When you can say, you know what? I am going to charge more and provide more value. And I can make billions of dollars by just marketing to the top 5%. How many of you flown on Virgin Airlines? Sarah, say there's some people that go, I ain't even going on their website because they charge more money for everything. Aren't you worth it? Don't you deserve to fly first class everywhere you go? Do you deserve to fly private? I know Melody Riba's on here. Melody Riba's been on private airplanes with me. It's like, keep reaching, but you got to go back to a certain way and do it. The last thing I want to share with this is I did this to a guy yesterday. He wasn't in a good mindset. And I want to do this for you guys. So, a lot of people know me from the network marketing world. And my question to you guys is, I did a video called GOATs. Who's the greatest of all time? And so it was talking in here about when I met my mentor, that the only thing that I was interested in doing is not having money as an issue in my life. That I was tired of not paying the electricity. I was scared of losing my car. I was scared of becoming homeless. And because of that desperation, when I met a guy that was making money, then the only thing I wanted to do is what he told me to do. I asked him a simple question: what should I do? And he said, Robert, you got to get excited about your future. What are you going to do when you got money like mine? We don't even need to go there. I was all over the place. I'm getting my wife this, I'm getting my sons this, I'm moving here, I'm doing this. It's like, you don't have to worry about me getting excited of changing my financial life and helping people. Then he said, Robert, you got to talk to strangers. No, he said, you got to connect with strangers. You got to learn the skill of asking questions and listening. And you got to connect with people. 3, you got to get them to ask you to do you a huge personal favor and watch a video to see if they're interested and introducing you to some people that need to make extra money. He said, Robert, you get a video watched 2,000 times and you'll never have to worry about money again. But to start, I need you to get the video seen 70 times in 30 days. That's all I needed to do. So I really don't understand when people look at individuals that they look at me and they think what I do is so radically different. I got to be careful how I say this. I won't say it. I won't say something negative about other people. I'm going to say something positive. Is I'm following the people that ended up in Forbes magazine worth over $5.8 billion. I'm following the goats of this industry. And when I was talking to that guy that was having difficulty, I go, what's your favorite sport? He goes, basketball. I said, who's the greatest of all time? Michael Jordan. I said, why? And he said, do you know he's played in 6, 7, 8, 9. He's played in 9. He's only played in 9 championship games. And he won all of them. The guy's never lost. He's won 6 world championships with the NBA, 2 gold medals in the Olympics, and 1 national championship as a college basketball player. The guy's never lost. And I said, sure. So I got a question for you. And he goes, go. I go, so who's the greatest of all time in network marketing? I don't know. Dude, that's a problem. And he mentioned some names that all of you probably heard of. And I went, are you kidding me? Rich and Jay have made more multimillionaires than the whole rest of the industry combined. We talk about people that are the $100 million man or the $58 million man. These people have made over $500 million. $500 million they earned in commissions. And got 1.5 million people in the group. They do stuff radically different. And I'll give you one, and then we'll go on. Do you know the guys I'm talking about are Rich DeVos and Jay Van Allen? The people that started out in a company called Abunda Vida by Earl Schulf, and Earl Schulf died. And then they jumped in that company called Nutrilite, was the #1 reps in Nutrilite for 10 years. Then they started a company called The American Way. Then they decided to go international, so they shortened the name up and called it Amway. And the company every year does over $8 billion in sales, while everybody else goes, we're shooting for $1 billion. We're going to be $1 billion company. And if you guys went on YouTube and put in Amway and filtered it by the most views, their product video is the most viewed video for Amway. Listen closely, you guys. The product video is 45 seconds long. None of you have ever been in a company ever where the people that were doing the presentation spoke 45 seconds about their products. So they might be doing something different. like saying, hey, we have premium quality products where you could change your buying power from the big box stores and Amazon and switch them to us. These are necessity products, things that you're using all the time. And by moving that buying power over here, once you like and love the products, we can get other people to do it. And if you did 2 and help them do it, and those 2 got 2, and those 4 got 2, that sooner or later you could have 10,000 in volume. And when you have 10,000 in volume, you'd be making an extra $1,000 a month. That's 12,000 a year. What would you have to do to make $12,000 a year in your current situation? Did you guys catch that? And then they start whipping out circles. So it's a concept of average people taking money from trillion-dollar companies and getting a community of like-minded people that want to steal the buying power from these trillion-dollar companies and transfer it over here. It's a transfer of wealth. And then I see other people that spend half of their time talking about products and how to be a salesperson and how to buy large quantities and retail it and make money when only 17% of the people are sales types. So that's the thing, that if you're, again, in the chapter, I love where it said, if you're working really, really hard and someone else has made money in the same company, in the same business as you, and you're working really, really, really hard and it's not working, you're not doing it the certain way. Got it? Okay, Craig, back to you.
Excellent, Robert. Thank you so much. And it summarizes that chapter so well, what you just shared with all of us. I know that, I was basically, I was going to say what you were going to say, kind of as a little bit of a follow-up, is that's why documentation beats conversation. That's why success leaves clues. That's why the certain way is there, and that's why we have been saying, especially lately during these trainings, this is the way. And so, yes, there is a reason, there is a science behind this. Yes. And so, as Robert had shared yesterday with everybody, we're going to allow everybody to comment how they felt about the chapter, and some just some questions about the chapter. And we want to try to keep it straight to the chapter 2. There is a science of getting rich. And I see 4 hands that are already raised here in Zoom. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you want to ask a question, you can go ahead and put that into the YouTube chat. We will ask it on your behalf. But right now, let's go ahead and get started with Bill Shoemaker. Bill, go ahead, open up, please, and ask your question.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Robert. Such great wisdom. Love you so much. And I've been getting a lot of downloads, and I noticed things that I'm doing during the day. The universe says, no, Bill, you should not be doing that. You need to focus. And I've been wearing a shirt off and on through my life. Another person I know, and I know you're going to love this shirt. Now, I get a lot of compliments on the shirt, but you said, suck, not good word.
No, not only that, I know the person that promotes that shirt, and I don't teach anything that he does.
Exactly, and I was learning from him, and so I gotta ship. So my son posted this morning, part of the Science of Getting Rich. I'm so proud of him. He said, once these laws are learned and obeyed by anyone, that person will get rich with mathematical certainty.
Yes.
There you go. That's it. Thank you.
Bill. Thank you, Bill. It's like one of the things I seen, Matt, do you have any comments?
Not currently. I'm watching Rue, but later on I do. So
Okay, why don't you put in AI and we'll come back to you. Why don't
Sure.
you put in AI, what is the certain way? Because again, what I believe this chapter is you figure out what you want to do, you find the best at it. And when you find the best at it, you follow that path. A lot of people are always confused about the certain way, right? The certain way for me is find the most documented person. And I look at 2 factors of documentation. It's not that the person has done it, but the person has taught other people how to do it. So I did bring up NBA, and I apologize for those of you that don't follow sports. But when you hear the word Phil Jackson, which, by the way, went to my high school. So when you hear Phil Jackson as coach people like Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, you start to get to a thing where maybe this guy might know something. And let me share one thing. My wife and I watch a documentary about the Lakers. And here's something that I didn't know. And I would love you guys to have this sink in. So the Lakers not only recruited Shaquille O'Neal, but they also recruited Kobe Bryant. You can Google this. It's in the documentary. Did you know when Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal were playing together, I believe it was the first 2 or 3 years that they played together, they got swept in the World Finals. So Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant go all the way to the finals and get swept. What that means is they're always playing the best out of 7 games, and the other team beat them four games right in a row. Swept, they're gone. It wasn't until Phil Jackson became the coach that Kobe and Shaquille won world championships and became MVP. So think about that. We know Shaquille O'Neal and we know Kobe Bryant are world champions. They weren't under the wrong coach. Are you guys hearing me? You take 2 of the guys that are going to be in the NBA Hall of Fame. They have records of dominating. And they didn't get there until they had the right coach. So how many of you guys think if it was 2 years or 3 years before Phil Jackson became their coach, how many of you think they were working hard? How many do you think they were practicing hard? There wasn't a doubt in anybody's mind that Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant wanted to be the best players that the NBA's ever seen. They just couldn't do it under the wrong way. Coach Brown had a different way of training and different ways to do fundamentals of basketball. He coached them wrong. So not only did they practice hard and work out hard, but they lost and they were frustrated and they were upset and they wanted to quit. Have you ever wanted to quit something that you at one time had a burning desire for? Oh my God, if these people can do it, so can I. And what I'm going to do with that money is I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to do all these wonderful things and give to charity. And then you get distracted and go out and listen to the wrong coaches and the wrong trainers. And you're working hard and you're frustrated. You're frustrated. You're upset. You think this is not for you. And most people decide to quit. It wasn't the industry or the environment. It was you doing it the wrong way, not the certain way. Wow. So, hey, Craig, back to you.
Amazing. And that's why these discussions are just so incredible when you think about it. It's like, here we get to I know that we've used the term before in other groups, Robert, but this is mastermind. And this is a true mastermind of mastering the science of getting rich. So let's go ahead and continue. Yes, Jerome, mic drop.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. I don't think I thanked Bill, but maybe I did.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. Let's go ahead and move on to John Tier. John, go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share with us.
Did you just call him a goat head?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, goat, greatest of all time, head.
Hey, that's why Craig's on here. Quick reaction, good spin.
Oh man,
good return.
Listen, wow, Robert, you must be inside my brain, because those were the things I thought about after reading this chapter this morning, preparing for this afternoon. And the first time I read the book, and I think what got me frustrated, I was like, why does this guy keep saying a certain way? He don't tell me what certain way is. What is the certain way? What is the certain way? Just say it already. But this morning I realized he actually did say it. And I highlighted it, just so for this particular time. And he says, if you are now in the business and anybody else in your locality is getting rich in the same business, while you are not getting rich, it is because you are not doing things in the same way.
Same way
that the other person is doing them.
Right.
That was the thing that it was like, oh, that's the certain way. And I made a note here to say that what Robert is teaching us in our industry is the certain way to become rich in this industry. And his method has proved itself at least 66 times.
Thank you, John.
That's what it finally dawned on me. The certain way is someone who is successful and documented, and you following their footsteps and doing what they're doing to achieve the same results. Like he said, like begets like. That's where people fall down, is because they're following other people who have not done it, but pretend like they do it.
Yeah.
And unless you check their documentation, you don't know. And these days, people won't show you their documentation. They always have these excuses. I don't do my clients and blah, 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 for some reason. But you're the only one that I know that's up close and personal says, here it is.
Yeah.
This is the way. And so what you're doing, we have to follow what you're doing, the things that you teach us, because that is the way. That is the certain way. And the certain way is anyone who's successful and documented. It really, really came down like one of the best things. I play piano, and one of the best piano players that I like to follow. People say, "Oh, you kind of sound like him." Is a guy by the name of Chick Corea. Now, a lot of people don't know about Chick Corea, but Chick Corea, when I did a report on him in college, he had 12 pages of awards, and a lot of them were being the number one pianist in the world.
You seeked out the goat.
Right. That's right. Exactly. I remember you saying that before you wrote your book, you went and got research and found out who was the best of this, and you got all these books, and then you became another one. Success leaves clues, but you got to have your ears open to hear them. And so when I started reading this here, and it jumped out at me, I was like, that's the certain way. The certain way is following the person who's already done it and do exactly what they do so you can get the results that they got. That's it, man.
I don't know if we said this on the video yesterday. Man, I'm doing so many videos. If I'm repeating things, they need to be repeated.
Okay.
All right. But when Kobe Bryant first got to be a basketball player, where people started seeing him, in high school, you guys know that Kobe Bryant went from high school straight to the pros?
Yeah.
Wow. And you know what all the people that were commentators watching Kobe play would say? That's just like Michael Jordan. That's just like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. Yeah.
He did that move just like Michael Jordan. And then when he finally wins and they interview him, he's going, yeah, my dad, I was in Italy and his dad was in the military, and his dad would record games for his son and bring home the VHS tape, and Kobe Bryant would watch Michael Jordan play. Get it down, do the move. Get it down, do the move. Get it down, do the move. And so when Kobe heard, people were saying, wow, you did that just like Michael Jordan. He said it almost would make him cry because that was the goal. If I could play the game like the best players in the world, then one day I'm going to be one of the best players in the world. I don't think that he watched a tape, watched Michael Jordan make a move and score, and went, I wonder how I could add my creativity to this. I wonder how I could get distracted and listen to other people talk about doing this move. Do you guys know why we get distracted and seek out other ways to do things? It goes back to what Dana said yesterday. We don't believe in the certain way. So we go, I'm missing something. You know, Lisa Marie's favorite thing. I'm stuck. I'm just missing something. It's like, no, you're not, Lisa. It's like you know the certain way, you're just not doing it. So thank you, John. Man, I love these. You guys' interjections are, I think I love those more than listening and giving you my feelings of it. It's like you guys are so awesome.
John, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Matt, you want to come on? I know that you shared something, and how about you read this item that Robert had asked that you'd look up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we got you. Go ahead and explain it too, please.
You could, if you wanted to, Matt, so we have it recorded, you could even share it on your screen.
Oh, sure. Give me a second. Figure out. Let's see this. Here, you guys fill the dead air. I'll get it ready.
Okay, go.
Yeah, we got Katie coming up, Lisa, Marie, and Dana. You guys, I see your hands are raised, so thank you very, very much. So we'll be coming to you shortly, but I thought that this would be a perfect time to bring Matt in since he shared this. And here it goes. Matt,
you
go
guys
right
see that?
ahead. It's a little small.
There you got it.
There we
A
are.
little blurry.
There we are. Yes, go for
How's
it.
that looking on Facebook? Is it looking, or YouTube? Is it looking good?
Looks perfect.
Awesome. So this is just Chat GPT. I asked it, what is the certain way? The second thing it was like, be more specific. And I asked about the science of getting rich, and this is what it spit out. So according to Waddles, the certain way to become rich involves developing a mindset of abundance, focusing on creating value for others, and taking consistent action towards your goals. Some of the key principles he outlines in the book include the law of attraction. Your thoughts and beliefs shape your reality, and by focusing on abundance and positive outcomes, you can attract wealth and success into your life. The power of visualization. By visualizing your goals and desires as already achieved, you can create a mental image of the reality you want to manifest, which can help you stay motivated and focus on taking action. And the importance of action. While positive thinking and visualization are important, they are not enough on their own. You must also take consistent action towards your goals and be willing to learn from your mistakes and adjust your approach as needed. Overall, the certain way to become rich, according to the science of getting rich, involves developing a positive mindset, taking action towards your goals, and creating value for others through your work or your business. So this is what ChatGPT shot out when I asked it. I ask it questions pretty much every day, all the time.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. for
Yeah.
sharing that. You got any other things you want to say?
Well, yeah. I just want to say, like, I think when you think of that list of stuff, right? Like it's not something that would be uncommon to most of us to think. It's just thinking of it now in a certain way and having steps changes the dynamic of the way that you can think about it. It's not, in my mind, I always think, okay, so like as far as the law of attraction goes, I know my thoughts are reality. That's something that I know. And I shape my own reality by how I think and feel. Visualizing things, I visualize things that I've accomplished in my life and I've accomplished them. And then of course you need action. And I think the cool thing about the science of getting rich is it takes an abundance of thoughts of things that we may have already thought and put them in a certain way of this list. And it's like step 1, 2, or 3, enough that an AI can tell you it, right? So it's like, well, what are those steps? And I was telling Craig and my dad before we got on here, one of the best things I've used ChatGPT for is breaking down things or having things explained to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And so if you guys haven't used it,
you actually ask that thing, don't you?
Yeah. If you say,
please explain this to me like I was 5.
So the cool thing about the way that this works and learning in the future will work is it can teach you at the level that you're at, which, if you work with somebody else, they may get frustrated because you're not improving, or you may learn differently. I love this tool because it allows me to break things down like the science of getting rich. And I could just ask it right afterwards, explain more about the law of attraction, put the law of attraction into simple steps for me to follow on a daily basis. And it will do all of that for me. It will give me steps on a daily basis to follow to remind myself about the law of attraction. So it's very, very cool to have a modern day tool that can break down some fundamental rules that have existed since 1910 that Wallace Wattles broke down and gave to us. And it's cool that we can all be on here and share it, of course. So like I of course, am a huge advocate for this tool. You guys definitely all should be using it. And if you're not using it now, you will be in the future. So get used to it now.
Thanks, Matt. I love
Yeah,
you,
no
man.
problem.
Appreciate you.
Love you too.
Matt, thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, that's it. Again, my gosh, Robert, how many more times do you have to say success leaves clues and documentation beats conversation?
Until people believe it.
I guess so. And I hope everyone who is watching believes that. Let's move on. I see Katie Saunders has her name up, or her hand up, I should say. Go ahead, Katie, unmute and please share.
Hey guys, I'm so grateful. Robert, I was literally visualizing after I watched the replay from yesterday, what my life could have been like if I got recruited when I was prospected in 2001 into ACN. And I could have met you then. But that's okay, because we'll still have forever together. We'll be on a private jet together. It's going to be fine.
Yep.
So this is my thing. So I just need some validation, and maybe other people listening,
Sure.
this will help them too. So since I started working with Melody in August of 20, I've been tracking my numbers still. I keep track of I've been gifting all of the things. I've increased my numbers on Facebook from 860 to just about 3,000.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm still making connections. I'm doing the things. So much so that when I was working with her, I put out into the universe that I was going to leave my government job in 24.
Okay.
That's what happens in 266 days. I'm kidding. I've got a countdown. It's awesome. So
Cool.
I now know that this is just more confirmation that there's too many chefs in my beautiful kitchen. Okay. So I'm clear on that. I feel like my belief, I don't have to doubt myself that I know what the certain way is anymore.
Good.
I just have to stay into action. So that being said, when I warm up my algorithms and I post to Facebook and I do a 9 a.m. live every day, and I try to do a reel during the day, my protocol.
Now, if you don't mind me interrupting you,
Sure.
I don't do anything of what you just said.
I know. I think because I'm trying to get my followers up. So I,
How do you know that? How many followers do I have?
well, you have over 5,000 friends. Followers, I think you're over like 30,000 or something.
Yeah, I can show you how to do that.
Okay, so I'm hearing what you're saying. Okay, thank you. I freaking love you, man.
Yeah, well, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, ready, guys? Here we go. So for me, since I'm are only at about less than 3,000 friends, if I'm prospecting, I'm always prospecting. So I go to their page, check them out, send a friend request, send a message. It's great to connect with another entrepreneur. I hope you and your family are doing amazing.
I don't send a friend request first.
Okay. So, but how do I, then I won't focus on the number of friends that I have. That's a hook. That's a hang up for me mentally then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't even worry
But
about that.
let me change your thoughts a little bit.
Okay.
How much money do you need to make for this transition by the end of this year to be just super smooth?
10,000 a month.
10,000 a month. Do you know what volume you have to create in MDC to make that happen?
More than 1K.
Okay. It's 100,000.
Okay.
This comp plan, regardless of all the stuff they talk about, it ends up being about 10%. Now, in previous companies I've worked, it's 3%. So
Okay.
if you ever hear that, you know, that the company that you're involved in pays you more, it does. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
So the goal every day is for you to go, okay, so let's say all these people are on auto ship, which is 90 in volume. So if we take 100,000, and I don't know if you're going to get chills with this number or not. So it's 100,000, you divide it by 90, and the number is 1111, Katie.
Just like 1212 earlier that you mentioned. Woo, I just got the chills. My hair is standing up on my arms, y'all. You stop it
So-
right now, Robert.
Okay, so that is the focus.
Okay.
The focus is, how do I improve the lives of 1,111 people? And universe, you
Okay.
got to make it happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to follow your intuition. I'm going to get up every day, and instead of doing something that people told me to do, I'm going to stop doing everything,
Okay.
and I'm just going to find the 1,111 people. Now, there's going to be magic when this happens, Katie, because you're going to run into people that are going to go, my goal is the same as yours. And
That's
so they
been
go
happening
out
to
there,
everybody.
they go out there and put 500-600 people in the company. So now if you find two people that you personally enroll that have the same goal as you have a problem, because now you have 2,222 people in your group.
It's a horrible problem to have.
And now you're making 20 grand a month instead of 10 grand a month.
Okay.
So
So then I'm good. We're good.
yeah, okay. Now, what should you put on the internet as far as content?
Inspirational, motivational.
Whatever jacks you up, man. You
Jesus,
get up in
yeah.
the morning, you have your
Yeah.
ritual, and in your ritual, through either prayer or meditation, you're quiet and something comes to you. And then you jump online and you watch something and you're jacked up about it, and then do content about it. Now, I heard something that I don't know is true. Max Miller, you know, me and him wrote this book. One of the keys in this book is, how do you know that? You just shared some shit with me. How do you know that? I don't even know where the hell I got that from. Well, let's not talk about where you got it from. How is it working? You know, to be honest with you, it's not. Stop it. So the one thing that I'm doing right now that I don't know where I got it from is someone told me, and I don't know who, but they told me that if I'm doing content that I should do it the same time every day, so people will they can sort of set themselves to a calendar. It looks like this crazy guy is on at 3:00 Eastern every day. And so I noticed when I was consistent in doing them every day, that I was not only getting messages on, do you always do them at the same time?
Mhm.
I'm not getting notifications of them. And then the second thing was I'll make sure to make it to the next one because now I know where it is.
Okay.
So it's been working for me. And my number one goal was not Facebook Lives, Katie. It was actually to put a recorded video that I did on Facebook on YouTube.
Okay.
Now I'm really upset because if I was doing lives on YouTube for a year and 3 months, I'm telling you right now, it would be spooky where I would be. So now we're streaming live on YouTube. So how did I figure that out? Me and Matt just said, hey, listen, who are people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing? And I wonder how many people The Secret has. I wonder how many people Jay Shetty has. I wonder how many people Bob Proctor has. And when I started looking at their YouTube channel, it really made me upset, Katie, because I'm not perfect. Because they all seem to start their YouTube channel right after The Secret aired. So if I would have picked out any one of them.
You mean the secret trailer, right?
No, this movie, The Secret.
Oh, the movie. Okay. I thought
So
you
when I
meant
watched
that
the
they
movie
put the
The
trailer
Secret-
in front of their video.
Yeah, when I watched the movie of The Secret, here's the two things I heard, you guys. This lady was in a desperate place. I've been messing up the story. It wasn't her husband died. It was her father that died. Yet you're just one off and you mess up the whole story. So I've been saying since I watched the movie that her husband died. No, her father died. Okay. So her daughter gave her the book. I got that right. But then when she started studying through the book, Katie, she immediately searched for all the people that have already used this book that became successful. And then she puts them all on a video for us. So that was the very next thing I did, Katie, is I went through and wrote down every one of their damn names and then found them on all the social media. I found them all on Facebook. I wish I would have followed them all on YouTube.
Okay. So, okay. And we're going to get into, I'll start uploading to my channel ASAP.
Yeah. I know that I know. Matt and I got a consulting call from a consulting firm. And I said, why YouTube over Facebook? Why YouTube over any other social platform? And here's where he said, do you know what the largest search engine in the world is?
Everything's YouTubed. Yep.
YouTube. And he said, so you can't search on Facebook. I can't even go, Katie, to someone told me, oh my God, did you see Katie's video? What was it about? It was on the law of attraction. I can't even go to your Facebook page and find the damn video.
You got to spend 82 minutes scrolling and, whatever.
I can't
Yeah, I know.
search by name. I can't search by date. I can't do anything. You sure in the hell can do that on YouTube?
Yeah.
So the guy said to me and Matt, he said, well, what's your goal in life? And I said, my goal in life is impact millions and millions of people. Well, then you should put your content in a place that people can find it and search for it and get it. And so you guys know that I'm not perfect. I always call myself out. Eric Markman, you guys have seen him on stuff. He's followed me for years. He
Yeah.
sent me a message and golly, that would have been back in 2009. And he goes, what do you think of YouTube? And I said, it's a waste of your time. I was wrong. Okay, so I'm telling people that I got exposed to the certain way through the movie called The Secret. And then I wrote everyone's name down that was on The Secret. And then I didn't follow the way they were building their audience.
Okay.
Now I know how they're building their audience. So now I got to duplicate that.
And now I know how I'm going to build my audience with minus friend requests.
Yeah. So Katie, what I've been doing is, I've been doing a Facebook Live, and then what I do is I download that Facebook Live and load it up on YouTube. So what I did in the last
I started doing that a couple
of
weeks.
months is I've taken my subscribers from like 3,000 to 5,600. Once I went over a certain amount of views, I think it's 100,000 views or something, 5,000 views. When I went over 5,000 views, then I got this thing in my back office that said that I could now monetize it. I ended up making $1,000 extra income last year. And now my channel's at $290, $300 a month. So what do I do? I'm a numbers person. I'm analytical. And I go, okay, so I got 5,600 people and this person has 1.9 million. So what would my income be with 1.9 million subscribers? And that'd be 200,000 a month.
It will be $200.
It will be
200,000.
200,000.
It will be. Yeah.
Thanks for asking that question, Katie. That was a good one.
Heck yeah, man. Let's rock.
I'm proud of you.
I'm excited.
I'm really proud of you because I know we're going to make that goal. I agree with you. I agree with you that for all things that are holy, that two agree in his name. Anybody else agree with me? Say amen or raise your hand.
Amen.
Okay, we all agree that Katie's
Hello.
walking away from her job very quickly.
See what that says?
Yes.
Look what Walmart finally got smart with, bringing some Jesus to the shelves. I
That's
digress.
Good. Katie's gonna, she can't be retiring on the last day. We got to get her out of her job faster.
Let's do it.
Hey, here's another non-belief I'll bring up fast, you guys. Who in the hell told you that this stuff is going to take a long time? Wow.
Nobody.
Yeah. You got to stop thinking, oh my God, this is going to take me forever to get it. Here's one thing that people teach in network marketing that is frickin' true. You're one person away. You bring someone in like an Aaron Parker, you bring someone in like a Candace Burt Davis, you bring somebody in like a Tomas, they'll introduce you to people that will do their best to try to beat you to super. So I know there's a big event happening tonight in Washington, D.C., and two of my people are there on stage, Candace Burt Davis and Damon Coleman. I don't know if you guys know this, that they're sidelined to Javon. They're both second level to me. Boy, I'm glad they're doing that meeting. It's like, I'm not there, but I'm glad they're doing the meeting. Okay, back to you, Greg.
Okay.
You're awesome, man. You're Katie.
Katie, thank you so much. And let's all do this. Katie, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you so much. All right. And speaking of inspiration, he was kind
Sorry,
of the
Craig, to interrupt you.
Go
People
ahead.
are asking what your content should be. Inspire and encourage others. Inspire and encourage others and give them things that will get them out of learned helplessness. That is not your product or your opportunity. So if you plug them into the science of getting rich and help them and hold their hands, they'll get to know, like, and trust you. And then they're going to ask you what the hell you do. When they ask you what to do, you'll find yourself a Melody Riba. The reason that my group is here today is because Melody Riba was the first 25K. And she did it in, I think, her first month. So, yeah. So now she's still using that momentum all the way from that. So.
There's your call to
Go ahead.
arms. That's awesome. And then we'll go back to the gentleman who was kind of instrumental, as Robert had shared earlier today in yesterday's call. not that everybody wasn't, but let's just say that Robert referred to Dana Scranton earlier. So Dana, go ahead, unmute yourself, and please, once again, share with us.
All right. Well, thank you, Craig, and thank you, Robert. This is an interesting chapter, and going back, Robert, you know my background. So when I get into this
Tell
book,
everybody else your background.
what's that?
Tell everybody else your background.
Well, I'll just say, the 5 academic credentials and, PhD in engineering and all that kind of stuff that tends to program you such that when you see something like there is an exact science of getting rich, just as exact as electricity and mathematics, what do you think the first thing is that happens when somebody throws a bait like that in front of me?
No.
Let's just see about that. I think that happens to more people than we might really expect. They see a statement like that, an absolute.
I want to get to your point, but just to throw in a quick thing. Me and Max are talking today, right? And don't you guys find it interesting that science is the consistent effort of proving something wrong? And I don't know how. I do not know how people started saying, follow the science. The science proves, what top scientists have said. Because that's not freaking science. Look it up. So someone comes up with what engineers and scientists call a hypothesis. This is a concept or an idea that we need to apply. And I work for a guy that was the #1 race car owner in the world. We came up with concepts. We drew them up. We knew that we knew that we knew. We figured out a new way to beat the system. And we would take the car out on the track. A professional driver would get in like Rick Mears or Danny Sullivan, and they would say, this thing is garbage. We would change some stuff, still garbage. Change some stuff, still garbage. And a billionaire named Roger Penske would come in and say, Penske chassis #2, find every one of them in all our shops and cut them into pieces. Because it was a nice hypothesis and a great engineering idea on how to prove on what we already approved on. And every time we showed up at the track, there was 3 cars. One was the car that Rick Mears got to drive, which that thing was consistent, man. That thing is won Michigan 500, Indy 500s. This thing, that's the car that Rick Mears got to drive. Then we had one that was between our experimental model and the one that was consistent. Are you guys hearing me? And so Emerson Fittipaldi always loved driving that car because that guy could drive freaking anything. Then we had the crazy person, Danny Sullivan. He always drove the experimental car. If Danny ever beat Emerson and Rick, guess what was the new chassis? Are you guys following me? But there's no way that Roger Penske was going to go to the race without having 2 cars that he knew already worked. So sorry, Dana.
Oh, no problem. No problem, because that leads kind of right into where I was going with the idea there. The principles are what matter in the science of getting rich. And a principle works regardless of who applies it, as long as it's applied correctly and understood correctly. I mean, you can say, well, the principle is, and then you put your own interpretation on top of it, and it is no longer the principle. It's your idea. It's right?
Say that again.
Okay, I'll say that again. A principle works for anybody as long as they apply the principle. But what happens is people see the principle and then they put their understanding and interpretation of that principle on top of it. And it's no longer a principle. It is now a hypothesis.
Oh, awesome.
And you see that all the time. You see all these gurus teaching network marketing strategies and tactics. for 47, 97. It always ends in a 7, you know. And what they're doing is they're taking a principle and they're stacking crap on top of it so that it looks more interesting.
Yes.
But then you go back to this book and you look at the principles. The principles are simple. And if you lose the crap, you get back down to the foundation of what makes it work. Now, the one thing, and I'm just going to zip into a little
Please.
tangent here on Chat GPT and AI. If you look at the definition, the information that Matthew lobbed up there, there's an essential concept completely missing in that definition. It's taught in this book. We haven't got to it yet, but it is absolutely missing. And can you guess what that is? One word. It's not in there anywhere.
Believe.
Gratitude.
Oh, nice.
Gratitude is not abundance. You see, and that's missing in here. That's a principle.
It is.
AI didn't get it, but that's okay. You know, AI will get smarter eventually. It'll learn to be Robert.
Hey, for those of you that rewatch The Secret, you're going to do that as your homework. They break the whole movie down to 3 things. One of them's gratitude.
Yeah, it's and really, if you look at all of the law of attraction, you know, that's taught by everybody. It's like somebody gets a hold of that and it's man, they just shred it up into pieces and it becomes like a lifelong binge of trying to teach people what it isn't.
Well, the reason it's so easy to teach it is no one knows what it is.
Yeah, law of
So
attraction.
I can make up anything I want.
Yeah, and you know it comes down to what's taught in this book, and we're going to, of course, get into that. But just as a preview, it really comes down to the basic principle of gratitude. Then beneath that is visualization.
Yeah.
But visualization internalized, and that's kind of where this principle goes, and we're going to get into that. But anyway, what I want to close out on that with is you have the principles taught in this book that we're going to get into. What he said here is there are principles, and
Yeah.
we're going to learn those. But now we get into the specifics, like you were talking about with Katie. There's micro principles, and to me, you shouldn't get these two confused.
Right.
The science of getting rich principles are top level principles that are mental. It's a mind game. And then later we'll learn about the action part of it. But then the micro principles that come in, that's the mechanics.
Yes.
That's the stuff that you do. And those are principles. Those are micro principles. And if you start messing around with them, you know what you get? Flat tires. So that's what I wanted to share here is the principles. You really want to think in 2 levels. The principles that are immutable, those that are taught here. Then the principles that are the byproduct of documentation, right?
Right.
Conversation. And to understand the difference between the two, because I'll make a very broad statement here that'll probably get whacked on, but you can't apply the micro principles without first applying the macro principles that are taught in this book. Because otherwise you'd be constantly saying to yourself, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Well, it will work if you apply principles. So that's what I wanted to share today. So.
Dana, thank you. It was right on. I really appreciate your feedback. I don't know if you told your wife and the people that you work with that you got to take the slot out every day. You know, until we finish this book. And thank you, Dana.
You're welcome.
I really don't have anything to add to that. You know, like the one thing that my mentor consistently taught me about, I'll close this out by saying this, is it's weird when you see cycles of things and there's this thing that comes to you that's always in 3s. You know what I mean? It's these 3 principles. It's these 3 things. It's these 3 main things. And what a lot of people do is they'd rather not master those 3 things. And they'd rather find other things that are more entertaining or distracting. And so Dana touched on one already, is belief. You got to believe that the way or the process in which we're doing this is the right way. And I apologize if you guys don't believe this, but learning to connect genuinely, sincerely, caring about another human being is something that if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to care for another human being, what is that? So some of you guys are way better at quotes than I am. Craig, you're so good at these. The real intent of giving to anyone is not expecting anything in return. So the concept that I've had, Jerome, thank you. So the concept that I've had trying to help people build an audience is trying to realize that when you're connecting with a stranger, that the stranger is confused that you're willing to help them and you're not looking for them to get involved in your damn business. You're not helping them in a return to sell them a product. Are you guys following me? So if you watch my interview that I did with Ray Higdon, it was so neat to see how big of an audience that he's created. And then he interviews me, and as soon as he interviews me, he said, hang on. I need to talk to my audience right now. Now, every one of you know that I directly say that you should not use this approach. I don't like it. So as he's asking me how I found the right people that had ears to hear, are you guys hearing me? That I build a trust. I get people to know, like, and trust me because I'm unjudgmental and I love people and I want to help them. And it's my willingness to give them and expose them to a gift. And once they know, like, and trust me and know who I am, they will introduce me to somebody. Are you hearing me? And those people are difficult to find. Why are they difficult to find? First of all, I'll say they're not difficult to find. I just told you how to do it. It's my secret. So in the secret of talking about the secret, behind the secret, I just told you my secret. My secret is giving to get people to feel and really truly know that I care about them and I could care less about talking about anything else. And then through doing that, I use them as a doorway to connect me with someone that's not on their Facebook. They're not on their social media. They are freaking focused. My mentor didn't find Robert Hollis by running a damn newspaper ad. Some of you are going to miss this, and that's okay. He inspired and encouraged a person that was a stand-up comedian traffic ticket teacher named Sean Hennigan. And he inspired him well enough to say, hey, listen, just find the best people you know and introduce them to me. All the people above me did not do what I did in this industry. I was 7 levels deep. But he taught that person that felt like they were a nobody that he could give praise and recognition to him. Talk to those that had ears to hear. The person that was desperate on one knee, asking whoever was up there to connect me with something that I could change my life with. If Sean wouldn't have told me or invited me to meet my mentor, it would have never happened. I was too depressed, too broken of a man. Lost my identity. My next step was not to be here. So some of you think, wow, I'm gonna do content on social media and I'm gonna find a Robert Hollis. No, you're not. Did you guys hear that? Because some of you didn't hear that. You better get good at connecting with strangers and encouraging them, give them hope, inspire them through things that you learn from somebody else. Right? So I will continue to teach things that inspire others, that wake others up. So you guys know that you now feel like you can go contact anybody in the world. If someone today told me, hey, I think The Secret and I think The Science of Getting Rich is a stupid book. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Wrong place, wrong time. Maybe in one out of maybe 100 or 1,000, I might go, hey, I appreciate that you feel that way. You got to know a crazy person like me. What are you talking about? That person that they're a serial entrepreneur or an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. They're not going to go get a job. They're constantly out there thinking and constantly trying to make things happen. Yeah, there was a person that popped in my mind right away. Who's that? This Matthew Hollis. I don't have a clue what the hell this kid does. But I know one thing, he's always available. So he must not have a job. It's like, I don't know what the hell that guy does. I know one thing, the guy's got connections. You see what I mean? Matt isn't going to click on a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad. Matt's not even on Facebook. How are you guys going to find Matt Hollis? So that's why people struggle. They constantly are not doing it the certain way, and they're trying to convince other people against their will, that are people that are masters at being distracted. They never focus on anything in their entire life. They don't even know what the damn concept is. What's the most dangerous people to connect with? People that have already made over 6 figures a year. I don't have to convince that person that person's like, what? You have something that can better my life? Yeah. You ever heard of Science of Getting Rich? By what? No, I haven't. Have you heard of Think and Grow Rich? No, I haven't. How much do you make a year? Last year, I made $260,000. Do you like your job? I freaking hate my job. That is like, because when they believe in something, you go, well, what's the first thing? They don't say, what do you think's the first thing I should do? You know what they say? It should take me 48 hours max, and I'll contact every damn person I know. They always say the opposite things is the rest of the ordinary people say. You guys, it was only telephone, and it was not mobile phone. I got in this industry when phones were still hooked to a wire. It took me less than 48 hours to call everyone I had a damn phone number to. How many of them got in the business? 11. I called a lot of people. You guys hear me? But it's like, you got people, well, do I have to call my friends? No, I need to get you inspired on the Science of Getting Rich so you can introduce me to your chicken list. Okay, sorry for the tangent. Craig, back to you.
Well, I think we are set. We have had an amazing Mastering the Science of Getting Rich Chapter 2. And tomorrow will be Chapter 3, which is opportunity monopolized? Is it? You want to be here tomorrow to watch and then share your thoughts with us. Now, I also want to say glad that you are with us today, that you've been here with us. Please hit the like button here in the on YouTube. If you liked what you've shared or you've seen, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to Robert Hollis, please do so, and definitely please share this video with everybody on your socials. They will be glad that you did, especially for those that are interested in finding out what this is all about and masterminding with us and the mastermind, Robert Hollis. So I want to thank Bill Shoemaker, John Tier, Katie Sanders, and Dana Scranton for sharing. I also want to thank Matthew Hollis. Of course, Matthew, thank you so very, very much for being here, for being our foundation, and for helping us get things going with this amazing mastermind, this amazing series that we are putting together. Is there anything that you'd like to share with us while you're here online, Matthew?
No, I'm oh, Matthew. I'm sorry.
Maybe he's got something to share. No, I don't. I just am glad to be here. I'm glad that we, really this was my dad's idea. And he just came to me one day and he's like, I want to redo all of the Mastering of Science of Getting Rich, because this is something we had done in the past. But, having it in those older videos were me behind the camera and him in front of the camera. And I much love doing this live with all of you guys and hearing what you have to share and what you have to say. So much more.
Yeah.
So I appreciate all you guys showing up every single day. My hopes, and we've already been seeing this is only video 2 or chapter 2, but that this audience will grow and grow and grow as we go through the chapters. And that will really, really happen if you guys go out of your way to share this with the people that it can help, and get them involved. If they can't get on live, just get them the recording and just say, listen, maybe just watch like the first bit where Robert does the audio and you can read along with the chapter. And if that grabs you, then you have all of this, the rest of this. I don't even know what to call this. It's like almost like a podcast, but all the rest of this where people are sharing how this has affected them or how it's worked in their lives. Dana, everybody here that helped share today. I just really appreciate you guys because we are growing a movement together. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dad, for bringing us all here and making this possible. And thank you, Craig, so much for hosting it and always being the best MC. Appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Appreciate that. Robert, closing word.
The only closing words I have is watching you say amazing and you freeze up because you want to say AMA.
It's coming up. The weekend's coming.
You got to change the word amazing to another word so it flows into the rest of the Mastering of the Science of Getting Rich. John, what are you saying? I'm going to unmute everybody. John, what are you saying?
Magnificent mastermind.
Craig, you guys gotta say goodbye. I'll leave it to Craig. Craig, you did an amazing job, but I unmuted everyone, I think.
Yes, you did. Awesome, John.
Hey, love you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Bill, John, Matthew. Thanks, Karen. Thanks,
Ciao, ciao,
Karen.
Matthew, Bill,
Arthur, Corky,
Robert.
Michael, Angela.
Look for the
Jerome.
registration for tomorrow. RobertHollis.com/live.
Dustin,
Thank you, Craig.
Grant.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jim. Bye, Rebecca.
Bye, y'all.
Say goodbye to Rue. Bye, Rue.
Oh, look at that.
Hi,
Look at that.
Bye,
Rue.
Stephanie. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Fahad, Melody.